All right, welcome. I'm going to offer a $50 wired control box kit. And I'm just going to do a quick instructional video. You get it in the mail. There might even be some artwork on it from my son. But this is how you'll get it. We'll open it up. We'll go through the parts here on the desk. All right, you open it up. You're going to be greeted by something that kind of looks like this here. Okay, so this is the instruction sheet for setting up once you have it complete, but basically you just follow these directions here so your computer doesn't shut off when you use heat map. That's explained in some other videos, so there's that. You'll also have, so you open it up, this is your interface here, this is kind of your keyboard thing, okay? Keep opening. Here's your PCB. That's what you'll be attaching that to. Open it up. In here, you're going to have your back plate, and when you're ready, that just snaps on there. I'll show you. This leads to the same as this, and you'll also get another QR code that's going to link to this video. So that's why it's not in the boxes, because I'm making the video now. So this is for basically this, if you want to follow those, steps to make that easier, up to you. But this is the stuff that comes in the full control box kit. Okay. You'll have your bracket and screws. That's how you attach that there. We'll get to that. Your 8 buttons, I think I include 9 just in case one is broken or whatever. So, all right, let's go over to the workplace and we'll show you how quick this goes together. All right, I'm going to try to keep my big old head out of your area as much as possible. So you're going to need your glue gun, your soldering iron, and some solder. So you'll take this, and you have these lines here. This board is going to go upside down. You're going to put it right on there. And this is about where you need it. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, okay? Right in between there, and then your holes kind of right there. You can be up that way just a hair, but that's about what you do. Put a little bit of glue on. Ooh. And that's just to hold it temporarily. And I like to have a little fan to dry this off. All right, so you get your little bracket and your screws. This part is very important, and this is the part where, depending on how many people screw this up, I don't know if I'm going to continue to keep offering this because it's easy, but you can screw it up, and I don't want to be blamed for it. So you're going to just bend that just a hair, just a little bit. And I don't know if it'll be this bracket or these ones, but some sort of bracket and some sort of thing. Here, I'm still working that out, but these are the ones I have, but I got to find a bigger supplier of these. You're going to line this up with the ridges down over the holes. Same with this, so with your angled bend, so down, line up with the holes, take your screwdriver, whichever LTT screwdriver you have, and you're going to just kind of get it started. So this is where you need pressure, but you don't need a lot of pressure. You can't do too much. So if you do too much, you rip it. Oh, you got to get all the way through. That's fine. That's why you glue that, so you can you got a little bit. Just make sure it bites. So we bit. Okay, now I'll get this one, make sure we bite. Okay, we bit. All right, so here, now we're gonna tighten it up, and you can see where, you're basically just pushing these metal pieces onto these pads, which follow the traces. So You kind of go back and forth a little bit and tighten it. Again, not too much. You want to feel a tiny bit of pressure, okay? Now, I don't know if I'm done yet, so now I'm going to take it over to my computer and I'm going to plug it in. And you should have some sort of event viewer up. So I'm going to test that real quick. So I hold it off to the side and make sure I'm not touching any of the pads, because you can still activate it with your finger. And I'm going to hit it. So U is going to give you U and pause. And again, that is a function of having mulligan. So there's two things connected here. Let's see, what can you... There's two pads connected here, which can, because in gspro mulligan is MN control, so I have two connected, which kind of double or triple hit some other things, but it doesn't matter inside gspro. The software doesn't know. So okay, O, J is going to give you like num lock. It's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff, but again, it doesn't matter in gspro. Okay, I got everything working. You really got to be careful when you're bending that. I am going to make, you see how small these are compared to my other boards, how big these are. I am going to make these a little bigger, which will make that contact point a little bit easier for you guys to make. That's why I was so worried about making the $50 thing, is because I was worried that it would be, the failure rate would be too high, because it takes, you know, me a while to get it. So I'm hoping to get that failure rate low for you guys, because if this is 50 and the other one's 69, if you think you're going to fail, maybe get the $69 one, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to insure this one. It's, you know, I guess as is. So you're going to take a big clippers and you're going to clip off the rest of those, the nubs of the screws, so we fit. You can file them down, whatever. I mean, this is, like I said, this is a cheap, no, not cheap. I mean, it's not expensive. So there's going to be some things you got to do to make it work. It's a DIY project for fun. And I always like a little bit of glue. You can't do too much, because this is the part that kind of sits up. Some glue along here. Then what I like to do before I do anything is I like to let this sit overnight and dry, because you might have to come back and tweak these screws just a hair. So I'll let them sit overnight, and once they sit overnight, you're pretty much good if it works in the morning. If not, you can tweak it a little bit and make sure it works. So I have another board. We'll jump to that. So you want to orientate your board so you have this little hole is up. And what I like to do is I like to get these all going into a certain orientation. So the first one's left. Make sure your cord is behind all of that. You're going to get the tabs in there, and then you're going to lay some solder down. Okay. You want to make sure you're pushed down on, but not, you know, to make sure the board can sit flush. Get your soldering iron good and hot and let it really drip in there. These have little holes in them, and that solder drips in there, and that's where a lot of my strength comes from in my boxes. So then I like to come to this one, and this one's sideways like that. I get a little Allen key, and that's kind of what I help position myself. Get those in there, push it in. Go ahead and solder these. Normally I have a fan running here, but I don't know if it would be picked up on the mic. I got a fan that kind of blows the smoke away, and then I wear gloves because I do this a lot, but we're just doing this quick. So now what I do is, now I am going to turn my fan on. I don't know how much you need, but I have an industrial glue gun, and this stuff is absolutely ridiculous. So I like to push on it, kind of get it into a corner, the cord, and I like to put just a little bit on there. If you have a normal glue gun, you can do more. This thing is hot with industrial glue, so I like to do a little bit just to get it held on there, and I'll come back later and I'll do a little bit more. Okay, so that's as dry as I need it. Now I'll just go ahead and montage putting the rest of these buttons in and just kind of follow the orientation of the buttons. Okay, so I added more glue, drying it up. Now, if you know how to solder, this should take you 15 minutes. If you're careful, half hour, if you don't solder. The longest thing is if you actually do wait, 24 hours for this to kind of hang out. You don't have to wait 24 hours. I would wait a while just in case. Because once you put it on, you solder it in, you're kind of effed if it doesn't work. That's just the way it is. So now before I put the cover on, I like to test it again. So we got everything in. Now I used to have to glue this cover on and do all this, and that's why I kind of waited on. There's so many things that I wanted to figure out to make it as easy on you guys as I could. So M, Y, U, U and pause hits at the same time. Left, right. We have, okay. Once you verify they all work, you can go ahead. The logo kind of goes backwards. It just clips in. You clip it in. Ooh, plug it here. Like I said, I'm hopefully going to work out some of the inconsistencies in here, make it easier to put together. There we go. You just kind of slap that on, and there you go. You got your box. So this kit's $50. If you order the $69, I don't know, the prices will probably go up at some point. That's just what it is now. So get it while you can, but you know what? You might get a bum unit, but let me know. I'll always, help you out. Here we go. My full units that are $69 come with a 10-foot USB extension. This kit's just going to come with whatever, this is, like couple, not that long. So the kit is mainly for just people who want a challenge and, think it's fun. But $50 is about the cheapest I can go with the cost of material and the things that go into it. And that's going to be about it for this little video. You got your nice little box. So, all right, remember, I do it wrong, so you don't have to.